Right now, as you listen to this, you hold one of two mindsets: aging as decline or aging as continued growth. The decline mindset believes everything gets worse as you grow older, and then you die. Sadly, this mindset is the most prevalent. The growth mindset sees aging as a time of continued progress in becoming who you are. This mindset recognizes not only the challenges and losses of growing older, but also the opportunities and the strengths.
Good morning. I'm Michael Kovnat, and this is the Next Big Idea Daily, your shortcut to the smartest new nonfiction, one big idea at a time. Now, when we talk about aging, we often hear about lifespan, how long you live, or health span, how well you live. But what about joy span? That's the question gerontologist Carrie Bernight is asking in her new book by that name, Joy Span: The Art and Science of Thriving in Life's Second Half. Drawing on decades of research in aging and elder care, Carrie argues that longevity isn't the goal, joyful longevity is. The people who thrive into their 80s, 90s, and even 100s aren't just lucky, they're doing specific things that keep them engaged, fulfilled, and vibrant. And Carrie's here to explain how you can expand your own joy span starting today.
I'm Carrie Bernight. I'm a gerontologist, and I taught geriatric medicine and gerontology for 19 years at the University of California, Irvine School of Medicine. I've had a front row seat to observe thousands of people and their families navigate old age. What struck me the most was the radical difference in how people experience their longevity. For some, it's a frustrating, degrading, painful trajectory of ever-increasing decline. But for others, there's visible delight, spirituality, and joy in occupying their 8th, 9th, and 10th decades. I set out to find out why, and I share my findings in my book, Joy Span: The Art and Science of Thriving in Life's Second Half. I'm delighted to share with you 5 of the key insights from my book. Longevity is just the beginning. Anyone who says age is just a number has not reached the high numbers. Aging isn't easy, and forever young is not a plan. Regardless of how many burpees you can do or protein smoothies you chug, the passing of time brings challenges. Roles that you relished change. Words on menus seem to shrink. Necks sag, diagnoses arise. On the other hand, aging is not the downhill slide that people believe it is. A multi-billion-dollar anti-aging industry profits when you feel awful about yourself and fear aging like the plague. The tragedy of aging is not that we grow old and die, but that aging has been made unnecessarily and at times excruciatingly painful and humiliating. Aging does not have to be this way. When it comes to longevity, the primary focus has been upon lifespan, the length of life. More recently, though, the scope has expanded beyond years of life to years of life in good health, or health span. This is a welcome shift because we all want to live as healthy as possible for as long as possible. But there's a catch. A long life, even a long life in good health, doesn't mean much if you don't like your life. What we've been missing is a science-based how-to guide for maximizing the quality of these long lives. It's not enough to have a long lifespan and health span. We want a long joy span. The missing piece is joy span. Joy span is the experience of well-being and satisfaction in longevity. The American Psychological Association defines joy as the feeling that arises from a sense of well-being or satisfaction. Experiencing joy is different than feeling happy. Happiness comes and goes and is often dependent on external circumstances. Joy is not. Joy can be experienced even in adverse situations, more akin to contentment than to ecstasy, Joy may show up in the form of a smile, but many times it does not. You can't always ascertain someone's joy by observing them. One older woman looking at the trees through her window may be lonely and miserable, while a different older woman looking at the same trees may be experiencing great joy. With a long joy span, you live a fulfilling, purposeful life despite the challenges that accompany aging. I scoured the findings of 35 years of empirical testing on psychological well-being and longevity. The deeper I dug into the findings, the more I recognized a profound underlying pattern. The hundreds of predictors found in thousands of studies on what is necessary to thrive in longevity consistently group into 4 essential elements. People with long joy spans all do these 4 things. First, they grow. They continue to expand and explore. Second, they connect. They put time into new and existing relationships. Third, they adapt. They adjust to changing and challenging situations. And fourth, they give. They share of themselves. How do you keep growing? You challenge your brain, learn new skills, try something you've never done. New experiences activate neuroplasticity, improve cognitive function, and keep your curiosity strong. Whether it's taking a dance lesson, learning to code, reading a new genre, growing promotes vitality. How do you maintain social connections? Whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, you are hardwired for connection. It's embedded in your biology. A challenge of these long lives is that our friends and family often predecease us or grow ill or cognitively impaired or move away. The only way to have robust social connections is to be proactive, to be that friend. You know that friend, the one who reaches out, makes the plans, remembers the birthdays, sits beside you when you're in the hospital. How do you adapt to unwelcome changes? The people who age well aren't the ones who never struggle. They're the ones who adapt. Adapting is being able to accept and even embrace change, to revise the story you tell yourself and stay open to new meaning. How do you give of yourself in an ageist society? The science is clear. Giving is good for you. People who give back, whether by mentoring, listening, creating, all report higher levels of joy, purpose, and longevity. Start small by asking, who can I help today? A lemon from my yard delivered to a neighbor, a call to a sick relative, a garden planted, an act of forgiveness or mercy extended. Reject the ageist notion that you've got less to give when you're older, because society desperately needs what gets better as we get older. Our problem solving, our emotional regulation, the fact that we get to care less about what others think of us, our appreciation of nature, our humility and spirituality. Anti-aging decreases your joy span. From the time we were toddlers, we've been exposed to this false, fear-based messaging that older is bad. Even our fairy tales feature old witches who might eat you. Right now, as you listen to this, you hold one of 2 mindsets: aging as decline or aging as continued growth. The decline mindset believes everything gets worse as you grow older, and then you die. Sadly, this mindset is the most prevalent. The growth mindset sees aging as a time of continued progress in becoming who you are. This mindset recognizes not only the challenges and losses of growing older, but also the opportunities and the strengths. Take my neighbor Dee. She's 81, and a few days ago I saw her on her front porch when I was walking the dogs, and she waved me over so she could tell me all about her sore hands, the absolute drivel on TV, and how bad the hot weather makes her feel. Because Dee sees her life as a downward freefall, she stopped showing up for it. She doesn't pursue her former interests. She doesn't reach out to friends or challenge herself. The long hours spent in her recliner have seriously weakened her legs, which she blames on the curse of being old. Our conversations never have room for topics beyond her discomfort. Despite our many conversations, Dee doesn't know anything about me other than the fact that I have 2 golden retrievers. There isn't any space for me to share my life because her life, as miserable as she finds it, is the topic that dominates her mind. Dee definitely holds a decline mindset. I often run into another neighbor, Joan, who walks the same loop I do. I absolutely love it when I run into Joan. She's 82 and just radiant. Soon after our middle daughter was diagnosed with a brain tumor, I saw Joan and she noticed right away that something was off with me. She asked me what was going on in a way that felt safe for me to share. She listened intensely, then suggested ways to adjust to this new normal. Joan has had so many new normals. Always very interested in something, a new plant she's potted, an interesting book, an upcoming art exhibit. Joan has a growth mindset. Growing older is about, growing, about becoming. Joan knows that interior strengths can continue to develop throughout life. I once told Joan how much I admire her attitude, and she laughed, saying, "Well, I find life fascinating. I'm still growing now, just as I have in every other phase of my life." Maximizing your joy span takes work. The core 4 of joy span, grow, connect, adapt, give, are all verbs because they take work. We all know about the importance of physical strength, resistance training, cardiovascular health, flexibility, mobility, but we've often overlooked the fact that internal strength is equally critical and equally possible. In this book, you get to take the joy span inventory to see where you're strong and where you could use more work. For each of the core 4 of joy span, there are proven joy practices to enhance your joy span. A good and joyful second half of life is an inside job, and it is never too early to start, and it's never too late to start. Thank you for listening, and here's to your joy span.
Thank you, Carrie. Okay, everyone, you can get a copy of Joy Span at your favorite bookstore or by using the link in the episode notes. And go to nextbigideaclub.com to find out about our hardback subscription club, where we send you the best new nonfiction books as chosen by our curators, Malcolm Gladwell, Adam Grant, Susan Cain, and Daniel Pink. Check it out at nextbigideaclub.com and use the code DAILY to get a 20% discount. I'm Michael Kovnat. I'll see you tomorrow.